The road ahead, it twists and turns, and the sun beats down and it burns. But I keep on pushing through. And every step quicker than the last, my feet tread down this beaten path, and I keep on pushing through. 'Cause I get up, and I may fall right back down, but your love lifts me back to solid ground. Yeah, I get up.
We get to bring the diversity to all projects in the area of construction when it comes to land surveying, topography, and design.
When I attended my first Prospera seminar, it became clear that I made the right decision. Prospera provided me with many tools, starting with the one-on-one consulting.
In 2018, we opened our doors, and it's so rewarding to see the restaurant grow month over month. My family's dream of sharing my mom's authentic Mexican dishes came true, and now we get to keep Doña Esther's Mexican recipes for generations to come.
I wanted to create my own dental practice devoted to kids with bright and colorful spaces where they will be comfortable and have fun. Dental school teaches you to become a great dentist, but not about being a business owner.
So I turned around in 2010 to see the US market, and Catalina and I decided, hey, let's start a company in the US.
And that's the way we create LED Pro Services.
What I like about event production is that every day is different. Every project is a new challenge. We love to raise the bar in every event that we get.
These are things that you learn, but when you have somebody helping you, you will find out, and then your business start going.
La ayuda de Prospera ha sido imprescindible.
Aparte de Prospera, no hay muchos recursos para gente de habla hispana. Yo soy Prospera.
Yo soy Prospera.
Good morning. My name is Eddie Solar, Prospera Statewide Board of Directors Chair.
And I'm Sherry Eaton, Prospera Regional Board Chair and the West Coast of Florida. We welcome you to the first ever Prospera Success Stories Day. When life gives you lemon, you make lemonade.
In light of the times we are living, our 2020 Success Stories became a virtual event. We dare not forget our annual celebration of entrepreneurship and community prosperity, especially this year when our small businesses have overcome so much and have such powerful stories to tell. So thank you for joining us from your home, your office, or wherever you might be today.
We do miss our community gatherings and look forward to hosting you in person next year. Today's program will be brief, exciting, and filled with many familiar faces from our West Coast of Florida region. You will hear from local government, Prospera funders and partners, leaders, and of course, small business owners.
We have all suffered the impact of this pandemic at home, at work, and in our everyday lives. And you might relate to some of the stories we will hear today. As a not-for-profit organization, Prospera relies on donations to continue existing and serving our community. Sherry and I both are volunteers who give of our time, our talent, and treasure.
And Prospera simply could not carry out its mission and services without the support it receives from businesses, local government, and individuals like you and me. Today's sponsors made the Success Stories event possible, and their contributions will also help Prospera empower more local entrepreneurs with consulting, training, and so many resources to strengthen their business and our economy. Our 2020 success stories West Coast sponsors are presenting sponsor Duke Energy, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Truist, Nielsen, Advent Health, Visit Tampa Bay, Suncoast Credit Union, JP Morgan Chase, Musi, Helios Foundation, and Hillward Henderson.
We also wish to thank everyone who contributes to Prospera, and in particular, recognize our organization's top annual funders. They include State of Florida, JP Morgan Chase, Hillsborough County, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, City of Clearwater, Duke Energy, Truist, Capital One, Walt Disney World Resorts, Florida Blue, TD Bank, Suncoast Credit Union, Fifth Third, Spectrum, and Regions. Thank you for believing and investing in our mission and in our Hispanic community and in Prospera.
And we hope you'll watch our brief program until the end, when we will announce a small token of our appreciation for everyone in attendance. And now, let's hear from Duke Energy, our 2020 Prospera Success Stories West Coast presenting sponsor.
At Duke Energy, we're already building a more intelligent and innovative energy future with smart meters that give timely alerts so you can adjust your energy use, and the control to pick your own due date so you can budget wisely. Discover new ways to save energy and money with smart meters. Just another way we're building a smarter energy future.
Duke Energy takes great pride in presenting the next story about a Pinellas County minority sole business proprietor, driven by the willpower to push through the crisis and overcome all obstacles created by the COVID-19 pandemic. Here to show us the power of one determined woman, Adriana Martinez.
When I bought a Honka Auto Repair 5 years ago, I didn't know how to handle an auto repair shop. I didn't have any experience with this type of shop. So I tried to figure out how I was going to handle all this. And my first step was trying to find out who can help me to know and to learn how to handle a business in the United States. But I started to look around for different alternatives, and one of the best alternatives that I found was Prospera. Today, I can say that I know how to manage an auto repair shop. It is different because I am a woman, and most of the businesses for this type of businesses are handled by men. So it was a challenge in this area too. And I learned, and I've been respected by most of the people already, that I have a business and it's a successful business. But then COVID-19 hit early this year and business slowed down. And suddenly it was just like starting the business all over again. I might not have had all the answers. I just knew I would find a way to succeed. We implement healthy and safety measures. We applied for a PPP loan with the help of Prospera, and we expanded our social reach and improved our digital strategy. Today, we are still here and helping our customers stay on the road so they can take care of their careers and their families. I believe success begins with being determined. When you are determined, when you are committed to succeed, you will figure out to go overcome the challenges, and you will find the people who can help you. So we have come a really long way.
Hello, my name is Steve Schultz, and I am the Region Bank President for Wells Fargo here in the Sun Coast. And it is my pleasure, on behalf of Wells Fargo, to introduce the story of someone who is accustomed to planning everything down to the smallest detail. We love to work with folks like that. When the pandemic arrived, everything changed and all plans went out the window. This Polk County entrepreneur was determined to use the opportunity to take her business to the next level, while at the same time adapting, adjusting to the new norms, and taking the best care of her staff and her clients along the way. Let's hear about the power of one strategist, Karina Sloan.
The power of one.
I'm a planner. I love to plan for everything. Whatever happens, I'm always prepared. But nothing could have prepared me or anyone for the pandemic. Early Childhood Learning Center has served Lakeland for 21 years. But the COVID-19 pandemic changed everything. Parents start working from home or lost their job, and they stopped bringing their children to our center. There was every reason to just shut everything down, but I wanted to fight for my children and my employees. I applied for a paycheck protection. I also applied for other loans. At every step, I felt like I had to make bold moves. We moved all the children to one location, allowing us to demolish another location. When construction is complete, we'll have 4 operating centers. With everyone at one single location, we are operating at capacity. This way, we're able to provide more job security. But there is an emotional factor too. Through this process, we provided our employees with groceries, emotional support, and care packages. Knowing there is someone saying, I got you, means a lot these days. That is what I try to provide my people. And that is what I feel like I've gotten from Prospera with their guidance and support. My advice to small businesses is to make bold moves. And hopefully the decision to show compassion to your people is one you have already made.
And all my favorite colors, yes sir. All my favorite colors.
We come from every walk of life. We're proud of who we are and what we believe. We are among the 200,000 people who work for Bank of America. What would you like the power to do?
On behalf of Bank of America, I introduce to you the next Prospera client to be featured in today's program. He is a business administrator and she is an experienced optometrist. Together, the One Resilient family with the conviction to open their brand new eye care practice in Hillsborough County. All of this despite the uncertainty in the early reopening stages of our local economy, giving a whole new meaning to the power of one resolution. Carlos and Dr. Janet Hidalgo.
The power of one.
Someone might wonder who would launch a new business during COVID-19. And the answer is my family and me. We did it. Opening Hidalgo Eye Care and Optical has been difficult, but clearly not impossible. You have to adapt and you have to adjust. Typically, the patient would try the different glasses to find the one that they like, but now many of them would rather find and purchase the glasses online. And of course, we do all the safety, all the healthy procedures to protect the patients and our staff and the business itself. But I have to mention that Prospera helped me in every way. So through all of this, they help me with everything from the social media to financial advice. They really are a miracle for me. The mission of our practice is to provide our patients and their family with the highest level of vision care in a compassionate, caring environment. And by staying adaptable and working hard, we've been able to adapt to that despite the pandemic. So if I would give one piece of advice to someone going through a similar situation, it could be this. Everyone has a dream. Every small business starts with one. You just have to know two things, who you are and who you want to be. So you have to be consistent. And if you are consistent in the pursuit of your dreams, you can do anything. You can achieve your dreams.
Hi, my name is Rob West. I'm with TD Bank. I am the Community Development Manager of Central North Florida. I'm also a member of the West Coast Regional Board. TD Bank is a proud supporter of Prospera. We look to offer financing, resources, and other opportunities for minority small business owners. Small business owners have been adversely impacted due to COVID-19, and they've been hit very hard. So if you could, please hit the Donate Now button. Thank you.
Lately, we fall asleep with more weight on our minds. Yet every morning, our eyelids open up, and our body performs countless miracles to keep us going. But the greater miracle is how we keep each other going. We humans are incredible. Our collective strength draws from every single body. Let's keep taking care of them. Let's keep taking care of each other.
Good morning, Tampa Bay and West Coast region. I am Augusto Sanabria, Prospera President and CEO. Thank you for participating in our virtual 2020 Prospera Success Stories Day. As Sherry and Eddie mentioned earlier, we regret not being able to gather in person and look forward to celebrating our 30th anniversary together next year. We're very grateful for our sponsors that made today's event possible, led by presenting sponsor Duke Energy. Your contributions will empower more local entrepreneurs to strengthen their business and our economy. What a year this has been so far. We have all been dealing with the pandemic for over 6 months now, changing our routines and habits, our place of work, our way of life. The thing is, entrepreneurship is a lonely journey in the best of times, and so much harder during times of crisis. We have heard a few client stories already, and I'm so impressed by our clients' perseverance and resilience. A poll of our clients since mid-March found that 80% have been affected by the pandemic, 52% had to close for some period of time, more than half applied for government relief funds, and combined they have lost over $20 million in revenues. Thankfully, Prospera's Tampa founders developed a program model that could adapt to changing situations and remain relevant. During this pandemic, we have adjusted our services to address our clients' most pressing needs and continue assisting them through this crisis. Our West Coast team, led by Fabian Yepes, has demonstrated once again their commitment to our clients and mission. We know the need for Prospera services is greater than ever to help sustain our Hispanic-owned businesses, preserve jobs, and increase the prosperity in our community. Furthermore, we know communities beyond Florida need our services as well, and we're glad to share that we have successfully expanded in North Carolina to serve Hispanic entrepreneurs across the state. Despite the pandemic, we continue to work on expansion plans to serve more communities, so stay tuned for news in upcoming months. As a nonprofit organization, we carry out our mission thanks to our generous business, governments, and individual contributors. Thank you to all of you for your donations, for enabling us to continue serving and making an impact on the lives of many of our clients in our community. Our small businesses, our region, and our nation still have a long recovery ahead. Let's continue working together and come out stronger than before. And now, let's enjoy another client story, followed by a great conversation with several of our regional leaders.
Hello, I am Cristina Abreu, a proud board member of Prospera. Every day, Nielsen measures and analyzes what consumers buy, watch, and listen to. Our data powers the business and marketing decisions of our clients. We rely on many Hispanic-owned businesses to power our own business. Everything from our office supplies, marketing support, and our databases, the lifeblood of Nielsen's business. Nielsen knows that when the diverse businesses we work with are successful, we too are successful. Nielsen is proud to support the Hispanic community by working with Hispanic businesses, and we are proud to partner with Prospera. Felicitaciones a los ganadores.
Among the qualities that differentiate a successful entrepreneur from the rest are having the best mindset to face challenges, the flexibility to adapt to ever-changing situations, and the confidence to keep moving forward. That's why Nielsen takes great pleasure in presenting the next story about a brand and entrepreneur who demonstrates the power of one positive attitude. Mario Vargas.
The power of one.
The pandemic squeezed us. You could definitely say that. I started experimenting with different fruit and flavor combinations back in South America. Eventually, I turned those recipes into a business. Min Twist operates inside the Westfield Brandon Mall. You can find our vintage trailer near the Apple Store. The mall is definitely a great location, unless, of course, the mall gets shut down for nearly 3 months. And it did. So there went our business. But we made the most of it. Since we had the time, we renovated our brick and mortar location at the mall. We also did a deep clean, and we even launched online ordering and delivery options. And Prospera helped us, of course. They guided us through the Paycheck Protection Program application process, as well as the application for a disaster emergency injury loan, which helped us stay open. Ultimately, these changes we're all making are to keep our community healthy and well, which has been the Min Twist mission from the beginning. My advice to other small businesses: stay flexible and positive. Find a way to turn the setback into a set up for success. We're proof that it can happen. The Power of One. Mario Vargas, Min Twist.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us for our 2020 Prospera Success Stories Day. My name is Fabian Yepes, and I am Prospera's Vice President for Florida's West Coast region. The COVID-19 pandemic has affected many businesses, households, and economies. Our Tampa Bay region has been responsive and resilient during this unexpected crisis and rapidly changing information. Throughout our program today, we are hearing from local small business owners and how they have reacted to the pandemic. For this special segment, we will hear from a group of local economic leaders representing our regional footprint and about the pandemic's local impact, projections, and recovery strategies. Let's welcome Lindsay Kimball, Hillsborough County Director of Economic Development, Denise Sanderson, City of Clearwater Economic Development Director, Santiago Corrada, President and CEO of Visit Tampa Bay, and Bob Rolak, President and CEO of the Tampa Bay Chamber. Thank you all for joining us today.
Thank you.
Lindsay, can you please give us an overview of the pandemic's impact on Hillsborough County's economy to date? Are there certain industries that have been most affected by this crisis, whereas others may have been less affected?
Sure. Thank you, Fabian, and thank you for letting me be part of this panel today. It's really an honor to be here. There's not a section of our economy that hasn't felt this global pandemic. It's just been devastating to our economy, to just about every single sector in some way. And of course, what comes top of mind is going to be our service industry, the restaurants, the bars, the venues, And second come to mind probably, our personal care, all of our hairdressers, beauty salons, nail technicians, all of those folks who are in direct contact with customers, the retail stores, but really through our R3, our Rapid Response Recovery Program in Hillsborough County, which has been a multifaceted effort to address this impact on our economy, but also on our citizens. We have seen just about every kind of industry, every kind of business come through our assistance portal looking for assistance. So I don't think anyone's been unscathed unless maybe you are manufacturing toilet paper or hand sanitizer, right? Or your Publix, I don't know. But we've just seen everything: dog walkers, independent truck drivers, logistics people. Every kind of business has been impacted. It's been devastating, and it's been really terrible.
Thank you very much, Lindsay. Okay, let's continue with Denise, please. Denise, is it a similar situation in Clearwater? Which industries have been more resilient to this crisis, and which do you think have been more significantly impacted?
I would agree with Lindsay. Generally speaking, manufacturing, I think, has done very well during this pandemic. Certainly, those personal care services, hospitality, entertainment, attractions, travel, retail, restaurant, as I said, personal services, hit incredibly hard. We have a lot of concern, certainly, about those industries. We're seeing a little bit of a glimmer of hope, perhaps, in travel and tourism. We hope it's not just a blip on our screen, but we are seeing some positive trending data that gives us a little bit of hope that we may be headed toward some level of stasis or recovery. But we recognize that many industries have had to adapt. Banking, finance, IT software, I think they've adapted very well to this new normal in terms of remote work environment. Manufacturing certainly, is not able to do that. And I think they've done, as I said, pretty well. But it's those small Main Street businesses that we're, of course, most concerned about.
Thank you, Denise. Let's go with Santiago. Santiago, your business and sector have been greatly hindered by COVID-19. What are some of the mitigation strategies that have been implemented by Visit Tampa Bay and the local tourism and hospitality industry?
Well, we were hit hard, and we were hit hard fast. When you stop global travel and most of your properties have to shut down or lay off 90% of their staffs, we were going from record-setting months. Actually, February, our occupancy rates in Hillsborough County were 87.8% occupancy of all hotel properties, which was our second best tourism month in our history. And March was going to eclipse that. We had all of these major events coming to town, and our occupancy rate dropped to 50.3%, and then in April to 23.2%. So when you talk about all the subsectors involved with tourism, and we count food and beverage, retail, attractions, venues, entertainment, all of those things really stopped. And so we had to pivot from being a sales and marketing organization to really being a leader in the industry, purveyor and distributor of information, relief information, and we had to pivot and start selling and marketing our destination in a very safe and responsible way. So we've seen, yes, the increase that Denise has mentioned, and we can talk about that, but it's been slow, moderate progress in the right direction, but again, doing it in a safe and responsible way. So when you look at our marketing these days, it's about all the assets that we have that really appeal to a safe traveler, someone looking to not get sick, someone looking to enjoy parts of our destination that are not crowded, that you're not going to feel overwhelmed. And quite honestly, our industry has reacted very, very well. When you look at some of the safety precautions that have been put in place at the airport, at the port, at our hotels, at Busch Gardens, at our museums, and all of our attractions, everyone has responded to this new reality of safety. And so from that point, I can tell you that we've had to pivot. We had to pivot really, really fast. But this is a resilient industry. We've dealt with national emergencies like 911 and recessions and red tide and hurricanes and natural disasters of all types, and the industry comes back. But this one is a little atypical because of the global impact it had at the same time.
Yeah, understood. It's been completely different. I agree. Thank you, Santiago. Bob, your chamber members include numerous industries and stages of business. What are some of the solutions proposed and implemented by the chamber to help your members cope with the effects of the pandemic during this crisis? I think we lost Bob right there. Oh, there he is.
Sorry about that technology.
No problem. Were you able to listen to the question? Do you want me to repeat?
I did hear the question on how we're working to support and help. You know, as everybody said, with our members, our membership reflects the industry mix of Hillsborough County. And we saw the hospitality industry members were struck by lightning. It came sudden and it was severe. The rest of the industry mix heard the lightning, saw the lightning, heard the thunder, knew the storm was on its way, and got to brace some, but still had significant impact by what's been going on. We immediately shifted. What we were doing is just communicating, calling on every member repeatedly, just keep that cycle going, finding out what their needs are, and then helping to address them to find that need. And things like applying for some of the federal programs that were available and the county programs that are available, making sure they were prepared to go through that application process. And if they were told no the first time, why were you told no? Go back and ask again, and just keep pressing, finding a way to be operative in a different environment, not giving up, not thinking that you weren't going to be able to work through this, but understanding it's going to be a harder slog, but we'll work through this together.
Thank you, Bob. Let's continue. I'm going to do a question to everybody. So can each of you share one of the most important lessons that you've learned during these unprecedented times? And let's start with Lindsay, please.
Great. You know, overall, I think that it's the incredible value of clear, concise communication with your constituents. And in my case, that's the businesses of Hillsborough County, that's job seekers, folks who have been displaced from their jobs, and connecting them with resources. And never underestimate how important it is to be quick, clear, and concise. Because I can tell you at the beginning, a lesson learned was we had plans to create very thorough, very well-intentioned, but complicated recovery programs. And we scrapped it in about 3 weeks when we saw that, you know, when people are panicked and in a rough spot and between a rock and a hard place, they don't have much patience for anything even approaching complex or nuanced. So when we need to provide assistance, it needs to be 1, 2, 3. Here's what you do. Here's what you need to do. Here's what I need from you to help you, to give you assistance. So it's just been that clear communication. If I could just add another one really quick, is that how impressed I've been with everybody in our community, all the folks on this call. You know, obviously I work really closely with Santiago and with Bob. You know, how we've sprung into action and adjusted what we normally do. What me and my team are doing today is completely different than what our normal day-to-day jobs were 6 months ago, right? So Santiago mentioned that they're educators now. They're informing about safety. You know, we've transitioned everyone in my team to being small business specialists, to helping people not only with the programs, but being there for them to provide consulting. So in this pandemic, we've actually seen one-on-one consulting double virtually. So we used to do, of course, in-person and classes, and Prospera is part of that with us at the Entrepreneur Collaborative Center in Ybor City. You know, but through virtual means, we've been able to reach twice the amount of people. And it's not always about, it is about the money, but it's also about, you know, understanding how to help them adjust their own business model so they're successful in this new world that we're in. So just another quick example is, we had to think outside of the box. How would you help food truck operators during the pandemic? Well, you know what? We connected them with our social services team to provide mobile meals to seniors through a program called the Silver Platter Program. So it's able to bring them a hot meal that they need when they can't leave the house, but it's also helping our local businesses. So we've set that up with our food truck operators. So it's just an example of how everyone really, it's been all hands on deck and pitching in, but also being incredibly flexible. And I'm just really grateful to my team and Prospera, who's helped us with this, obviously, and all our team members on the call today.
Thank you very much, Lindsay. Denise, could you tell us about what some of these lessons you've learned?
I agree with Lindsay for sure. I think you have to be really nimble and open-minded and collaborative in order to identify not just the challenges, but the opportunities. And there have been opportunities. But I think sometimes it also means that you have to be willing to utilize people in new ways. I can tell you, everybody on my team is doing a completely different job, just as Lindsay said. And you have to count on your folks to be able to adapt. But that's created new opportunities for them as well. They've learned to stretch and grow with this. And we'll probably all need counseling when this is over. But I think, certainly from a local government perspective, the thing that I learned, the greatest lesson I think I've learned over the last several months is that sometimes you don't have to fully vet an idea in order to move it forward. I think if you lean in and count on your partners to come to the table, like we have with Prospera, they jumped in very quickly with us. We announced a grant and professional services program. We established the criteria and we funded it before we even built the application and the processes in order to approve these things. And we just took off running. It's a little bit like, going down, the racetrack while putting the tires on the car. So it's a little scary, particularly for local government. We found that it didn't have to be perfect, but it did have to be progress. And to Lindsay's point, you have to communicate clearly and concisely and establish expectations. And sometimes that meant you're calling people back at 10 o'clock at night. But it's really just being there and being willing to lean in, I think, is really what's most important. Bringing people together. And I think I would agree with Lindsay, certainly, that the people that have stepped up in this community, that have leaned in when it's been most difficult, when they've been suffering, but they've done it because it was the right thing to do. It's been just overwhelming and very humbling to witness and to be a part of. So it's certainly challenges, but lots and lots of lessons learned.
Thank you very much, Denise. Santiago, may we hear from you, please?
Yeah. So many personal and professional lessons learned, right? That it'd be hard for me to just, maybe hit on one. Personally, how quickly things can change. When we reminisce about a January and a February, the place we were was so different than what happened in March and through this month. I mean, it has really been a tale of two worlds, a tale of two times. But I think for us, it's this, we always believed that there was incredible economic impact through the tourism hospitality industry. And we've always fought to have people understand that marketing is important, that this industry helps in so many different ways. And I think this not having it has really elevated the importance, because when you talk about not having 25 million visitors to your destination in a year, that not only contribute to spending money at hotels or spending money at restaurants, but the jobs that are created to sustain those businesses that our locals, our neighbors, our family members are a part of, and then consequently the loss of sales tax revenues, the loss of education tax revenues, of transportation tax revenues. Our tourists help put air conditioners in our schools. Our tourists help to build roads beyond the bed tax. People think, oh, only the tourism tax. No. These people spend a lot of money here locally that affects us all personally. And so I think sometimes, what is that saying? You don't know what you have till you lose it. I think we've realized, oh my gosh, that we need visitors to this destination, that we need big events, that we need conventions, because so many of us here locally depend on it for our livelihoods and to take care of our families. So I think, the silver lining to the dark cloud is, this is an industry that propels so many things, and it's valuable, and we need to work hard at restoring it.
Completely agree. Thank you very much. And finally, Bob, could we hear your thoughts on this?
Sure. And I think, as we've heard, the hospitality industry has been impacted the strongest. When you see a reduction of over 90% of your business, there's no way to plan for that. You just have to try to absorb and ride through. But for the other industries, what we've really seen is we're going to face crisis again. We have a crisis plan for our organization that is for when a hurricane hits. We haven't had a hurricane. It hasn't been that kind of year. And we tell businesses, as part of their planning and strategies, is to have that crisis plan, not just what you'll do, but the financial crisis plan. And we've done a webinar with some very successful entrepreneurs who talked about you must be setting aside financial reserves and planning for if you lose your income stream to get through crisis, because there will be another crisis. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So how do we prepare for it? And preparation is key. A strong economy where things are going gangbusters and everybody's doing well, that's good, but make sure you're continuing to plan for when that doesn't appear to be the case any longer. So it's really helped us communicate on planning with our members of plan for that crisis period, because we want our members to stick around. We want them to survive through the crisis and be a part of our organization coming out of it, because we all have to be pulling together in it and through it and out of it. So that planning has to happen. And the businesses that are planning and being sustainable in that method while they continue to grow are going to be the strongest coming through this. And that's been a really good life lesson for everybody to learn is, do we have our plan in place, and are we protecting that plan and contributing to make sure we're ready for that plan?
So important to have a plan in place. I agree with that. Thank you, Bob.
Sure.
And finally, now looking ahead, would like to hear a very short version of what are some of the projections for our region? What are some of the recommended recovery strategies? And what role will each of your organizations play in this recovery phase? Let's start once again with Lindsay, please.
Great, thank you. So, we've never stopped our recruitment with the EDC, with our economic development partners, with the State Economic Development Agency, and we've actually seen some really great large projects come through. I was surprised. I've been in economic development a long, long time, never been through a pandemic, but I thought for sure that our leads would fall off the map. But it's interesting, you've got this balance of a mix of your small businesses, Main Street America, which is so, so important to the backbone and the authenticity of your community. But then you've got the large corporate entities, which almost are like buoys for the rest of the economy, right? That's why we go after them, why we recruit them. They can be foundations to build the local economy and to bring more money in to spend at those local small businesses. So I've been very pleased with the leads that we have and some of the projects that we're going to be bringing forward to our Board of County Commissioners in the next few months, which represent very large capital investment. So that's positive. That's the positive end. That's where I see we can't stop. We can't let the foot off the gas on our recruitment efforts. We also are continuing to do everything we can to make it easy for the continued expansion of distribution and logistics in our community, in addition to last mile redevelopment projects throughout our community. When I say last mile, I mean, that local hub for your e-commerce delivery that is still booming. Industrial is still red hot in Hillsborough County. So we're continuing to work with developers on bringing more of those projects. And of course, those create jobs. Those create good jobs for people to have in our community. We also, we see this training, upskilling, continuing for the healthcare industry. We have a partnership with Career Source Tampa Bay, where we've actually provided them $25 million of our $256 million CARES Act allocation from the federal government to aid them in seeking out those folks who have been displaced by this pandemic and helping them, in some cases, to retrain. So retraining into high demand fields like healthcare. Healthcare is obviously not going to go away. And we talk about one of the industries that probably didn't do so bad in the past few months. It's been our major hospitals. Now, it's a different story for private practice. We've seen many of those folks struggle and have to lay off workers. So we're looking at what we can do to help with retraining, upskilling people, continuing to grow the foundation of our economy through those targeted larger industries, which then can lead us to helping our small businesses. Because if we get folks that have the income to spend and have that discretionary income, then they can spend it with our small businesses and help keep them afloat, help keep the authenticity of our community. Finally, I'll say we continue to invest in all of our partners. We're going to continue to invest just as we have in Prospera. Of course, that's very, very important so that they can provide those services to our Hispanic entrepreneurs. We also, through all of our partners, we're continuing all of those relationships. We haven't backed down on any of those. So we're going to continue to slug it out through the pandemic. Hopefully, things turn around at the beginning of the year and that vaccine appears, and we all can go back to whatever normal will be at that point. But I think that we'll be seeing some changes definitely, in the office environments. People are going to rethink that. I've heard a lot of folks say anecdotally that, hey, this whole working from home thing has really worked out. So maybe we don't need as much office space as we needed. So, that goes back to the point that I was making, that our industrial space is still just really doing gangbusters right now. It's just still strong. And, we look towards the future, continuing to have a diversified economy. And hopefully, like I said, we all are just praying that, our tourism industry comes back, our events come back. I won't steal Santiago's thunder, but, we are hosting the Super Bowl, right, in February. So that's exciting. So I think we still have promise. We've got to stay strong and keep fighting.
Thank you very much, Lindsay. Denise, do you want to continue on that?
Sure, I would agree. I think what surprised me is the continued interest and confidence of site selectors and developments, particularly in the industrial sector, right? So, in May, we brought forward to City Council proposed 710,000 square foot light industrial park for their consideration. It goes to the voters on November 3rd, as it requires conversion of a golf course for this light industrial park. But that kind of confidence, I think, is really inspiring at this time, right? This dichotomy of great loss with this promise of new opportunities, particularly opportunities that can deliver high-skill, high-wage jobs for residents. But as the city's number one industry is tourism, we know that the impacts of this pandemic has led to, and will unfortunately lead to, significant loss of businesses. And so we see our role in that respect as conveners and collaborators when it comes to recovery. We feel very honored that we've been able to, and privileged to be able to deliver grant funding to some of these hardest hit businesses. But going forward, we strive to provide these valuable resources to them, which includes professional services. Prospera is one of our great partners that is helping us with that, because we want to focus on recovery. What does new normal look like? What are new opportunities for businesses to pursue? What does it look like to come out of this? And unfortunately, that also may mean, how do I plan for an exit strategy, because this is not sustainable any longer? And so how can we protect personal assets as we unfortunately have to exit this business? So, it's heartbreaking and inspiring. I've got sort of both, feels for that, if you will. But we're very hopeful. As Santiago said, this, hospitality and tourism is sort of a fickle mistress. It will come back, hopefully very, very strong. The bones of what we are, we're still a great beach destination. We still have great assets in the community to draw people here. It's going to take time, and hopefully not too much more. I think we're all a little bit worn out, but really pleased with the continued interest from developers, site selectors, as I mentioned. And of course, I think many of us are surprised too with the housing industry, the new construction industry, as people relocate here, particularly from the Northeast. They're coming in droves, as we know. So a lot of positive signs to keep us hopeful, I think, going forward.
Thank you, Denise. Santiago, I saw you smile when Denise talked about how people are going to come back. Do you wanna add on that?
Yeah, Fabian, I'm a half glass full guy all the time anyway, right? I mean, if you can't do that in tourism, you can't do it in anything. And I can tell you that for me, the future looks very bright. There's something about the Tampa Bay area, whether it's Tampa, Hillsborough County, Pinellas, Clearwater, we always come out of these things stronger on the other end, and we always come out better and faster than other communities. And that's because we roll up our sleeves and we deal with it. And, I have to thank Lindsay and the entire team at the county. They have made sure that we have continued to get the tourism tax dollars, diminished as they are, to do what we do. And I can tell you, when things seem to look like they were getting better in late June, we got out there and started marketing the destination in a responsible and safe way. When the spike, jumped, we paused. And then we restarted in August. And I can tell you, in just a little over a month, we saw $3 million in hotel bookings directly attributed to that marketing. And Denise mentioned it. The attention and the demand for us is still there. We have not been crippled by a natural disaster where we've lost physical assets. The incredible Clearwater beaches are still there. The culture and history and urban feel of Tampa, Hillsborough County, and the rural parts of Hillsborough County, quite honestly, that we're marketing right now are still there. And I can tell you that, 72% of our convention big group meetings that were impacted by the pandemic have rebooked with us for future years. We're bidding still on conventions. We're bidding on big groups coming back, and they want to come here. And like I said, the future is so bright. I mean, we have so many hotel properties that are going to open. They're going to open. I mean, we have a JW Marriott that will open before the end of the calendar year. We have a beautiful boutique historic property in Ybor City, Hotel Hyatt, that will be opening this month. We have another Hyatt product opening in downtown before the end of next year. These properties will open and they will serve as alluring brand new toys that people want to experience. So I can tell you that we're releasing a video series called On the Horizon. And it's all the cool new things that are happening here. And I can tell you that there will be a Super Bowl as of today, right this minute, on February 7th. It may not be a Super Bowl the way we've seen Super Bowls before, but it's happening. I mean, the season starts this weekend. In fact, our Bucks are playing on Sunday. And so I believe that, we will have some very, very good years ahead of us when we get back to a sense of normalcy, right? I said earlier on that in April, occupancy levels dipped to 23.2%. We're hovering around 47% with a big chunk of our business missing. Conventions, groups. When that comes back, I think we'll be in really, really good shape. So I think all things being fair, we should be very optimistic about the future because we do work hard around here when things are the toughest.
Thank you, Santiago. And last but not least, I'd love to hear from Bob now.
Sure. Well, first, I want to make sure that I thank Prospera for hosting this event and including the Tampa Bay Chamber. We greatly value and cannot overstate the value we place on the relationship working with you and everything you're doing in our community. So thank you for everything you do. But to your question, our market is still showing great signs. If you look at our residential housing market, it is incredible what's going on. Realtors are telling us that people are buying houses, doing a Zoom review and paying above asking price. That's what's going on right now. So that's where the strength of us being a second tier market really proves the strength of who we are and the diversity of our economy as a region, as our economics are regional, not specific to one county. It's all of us working together on those things. And that's a real strength that we need to continue to build on to make this area strong. But as we do that, we need to make sure that we're always going forward with confidence, but making sure we look back at who might not be coming along, who might be struggling to come along. How do we make sure we're all experiencing this? You know, the old adage of rising tide lifts all boats is no longer true as our economy is changing so much. And it was changing when things were strong before the pandemic started to have its impact. We were a different economy. So we have to always make sure that everyone is experiencing this. And we're hearing a lot of that in society right now, that there are some who feel they haven't been a part of it. How do we make sure everyone has the opportunity for them to succeed? And Prospera's efforts have been a big push in that for a very long time. And you've got the proof to show it's having an impact. And it was a big inspiration for our Minority Business Accelerator that we want to make sure everyone has the opportunity to experience this. So that is going to be the strength of this region as we go forward, is making sure that we're on the right track. We're doing things to help this region continue to be strong and making sure more and more people can experience that strength. And I just compliment you for everything you're doing at Prospera.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you. And yeah, we all know how hard you are working and how successful the Tampa Bay area will be, because, like you said, there's a lot of positive views from this region. Now I just want to thank you all for sharing your insight and your experience today. I know that we will collaborate and overcome this crisis, and we will coming out stronger than before. Thank you to our guests once again for participating, and to our viewers for joining us for Prospera's 2020 Success Stories Day. Now, let's hear from more local Hispanic business owners.
Thank you to our 2020 Prospera Success Stories West Coast of Florida sponsors. Presenting sponsor, Duke Energy. Host sponsors, Advent Health, Bank of America, Nielsen, Wells Fargo, Visit Tampa Bay, Truist. Champion sponsors, Florida Blue, Helios Foundation, Hillward Henderson, JP Morgan Chase, Suncoast Credit Union, Walt Disney Parks and Resorts, and Moose Studio. Thank you for your support of our mission.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Carolina Blanco, and I serve as Prospera's West Coast Technical Assistance Committee Chair. I have the opportunity to facilitate a conversation among a group of Prospera's clients so that we can hear firsthand what our local small businesses are coping with during this pandemic, the solutions that they are implementing, and some tips that we can apply to our own businesses and workplaces. The clients we will chat with are Kenny Miles, owner of Cement Art in Clearwater, Julio Rodriguez, owner of Don Julio's in Tampa, Luis Ortega, owner of L. Ortega and Associates in Tampa, and Armando Acosta, owner of Rompin' Rovers in Largo. Thank you for sharing your experiences with us today during Prospera's Success Stories Day. Our first question is directed to Ketty. Ketty, it seems like during the pandemic, many people worked on home improvement projects, but at the same time, people didn't want anyone in their homes. Did you have to close your business at any time during the pandemic? And how were you able to resume services in this new normal?
Hi, thank you so much for the invitation. Fortunately, no, we didn't close at all this pandemic time. We was just to need to reorganize our logistic following the protocol security for the COVID, and another thing that was needed to change was the training in person in our facilities. So we were able to service through the YouTube channel with video tutorials. But in general, we just kept a new audience with do-yourself people and homeowners, and keep it going and up our statistics.
Thank you, Ketty. Based on a survey carried out by Prospera since the pandemic began, at least 52% of clients had to close their business at some point since March. Our next question is for Julio. Julio, needless to say, restaurants have been very impacted by this pandemic, and Don Julio's used to be packed both inside and outside. Please tell us about the biggest challenges you have encountered and how you have overcome them.
Sure. Like you said, I think the restaurant industry got impacted the most during this pandemic. We were part of that. Unfortunately, we had to close for approximately 2 months, and mainly was for safety reasons. We wanted to keep our employees, our vendors, our customers, safe until we found out more information. With that, obviously running a restaurant with zero revenues to come in and a lot of expenses is very tough. Luckily, we were able to apply for some financial assistance that we did get, from the government. But even that was a struggle. We had to knock on many doors. We had to go to, I would say, approximately 12 banks to get a loan. So finally, we were approved. We received the funding. We were able to hire back all our people. They were eager to start work again. And since then, since we opened our doors, we've been growing week over week. So it's been great.
Well, thank you, Julio. We are grateful to you and all the other businesses that ensured we had enough food and takeout options throughout our quarantine. Our next question is for Luis. Luis, your technology industry has faced a different type of challenge, especially since your business is with school district clients. Can you tell us how you have had to respond in this pandemic?
Yes, it's actually been very interesting how we had to respond to this pandemic. If you remember, this started right around where a lot of school districts took their spring break. So we had our quiet time. We were kind of ramping up to begin after spring break. And what we noticed was that every school district was scrambling to see what they needed to get done. And then we saw the surge of them trying to get ready to do the e-learning in that nature. So we saw an uptick of us helping out the school districts, trying to scrambling to get staff to help them out. And also at the same time to be safe while we enter the schools to get the devices ready for them.
Thank you, Luis. Many among us are parents and definitely felt your pain on the other end of things. Our last question is for Armando. A big part of your business is dog boarding, but with people staying at home, how did you adjust to maintain the business?
Oh, thank you for the invitation. Well, yes, for the last 8 years, my business was focused on dog boarding, dog daycare, and dog training as a sideline. But during COVID, daycare service went down from 20 to 25 dogs to 4 to 6 dogs per day because people were staying at home. So the same thing happened with boarding because people used to board when they travel. And of course, nobody was traveling on these days. So that was almost gone. Okay. What we did is that we start getting focused on the dog training side of the business. Okay. We refocus on with completing dog training, and we transform our business now in a dog training academy, offering not only the board and train program, but also the in-home training. Now we can go to people's home and do the training there. We have been taking all the security measures to keep our customers safe and keep ourselves safe, and has been doing great since then. Okay.
Thank you, Armando. That was very smart and resourceful of you. In closing, I would like to ask each of you, what is the most significant way your business has changed for the long term as a result of this pandemic? Katie?
Well, basically, there is no real significant change in long term for us. We, of course, comply with all the local and requirements in each state and cities that we have projects in, but our product already provides antibacterial surfaces, which is really good in this moment. And service will resume only for those contractors and designers that were able to resume work on their projects. And the DIY people were actually very active during this various lockdown across the nation.
Thank you, Teddy. Julio?
Sure, Carolina. I think the way that our business has changed the most is the way we reach out to our customers and we communicate with our customers now. We had to change our message to them. We had to show them how it is safe, to come out and dine, with us, how it is, safe to order our products, from our restaurant. And we got to be flexible. What I mean by flexible is instead of waiting for the customers to come to our restaurant, we actually had to take the product to them. We increased delivery. We partnered with third-party delivery service and added our own. And our delivery service increased almost 4x, and it's been maintained and continue to increase since then as well. We added reservations to our restaurant. It helps us control the flow of the people that are in, make sure that everybody's abiding by social distancing. And we really got heavy and involved around social media, email, phone, anywhere that we can touch our customers. All our employees decided to do that. So we're really thankful for our loyal customers, our new ones that have come in and given us a try. Again, we're strong. We have a strong foundation now. And I would say we're actually at the levels that we were pre-pandemic. So thank you for our customers. Thank you for our vendors. And really thank our employees.
That's wonderful to hear, Julio. I'm glad you guys are back to pre-pandemic numbers. Luis, how about your business?
Our business didn't get affected as much as been changed. Mostly has been keeping our staff safe. As school staff reopened, we've seen, work in the school environments. It's germs everywhere, but keeping our team safe, being aware of that nature, but also seeing how it's affect the classroom setting, and us going to schools to do installs has decreased a little bit. But at the same time, a lot of the projects got pushed back in a sense. But we're seeing it now slowly but surely coming back to normal, little by little.
That's great to hear, Luis. And finally, Armando.
Well, in my case, yes, we have to do big changes on our business. The boarding and daycare require a lot of real estate space. So what I did is I negotiated with my landlord early termination on 3 of our 5 spaces that we have on the list, and that was accepted for her. So now my rent is a lot lower. The other things, I reduced my payroll in 50% because I don't require too many employees just for the dog training part of the business. The daycare and the boarding take a lot of need a lot of people to work on that matter. So I reduced my cost a lot on those 2 parts. And the third one was I get focused on investing money in leads for dog training business. I focus all the resources that I have with the loans that we get through the government on those things. And since then, the business has been growing even better than before COVID. And our profit has been even better as well, because now we have our cost is less than before. So I think that after pandemic, we're going to keep doing this. I mean, my business changed completely, I will say.
Wow, it is fantastic to hear that you've all managed so well through these difficult times and have come out even stronger. So thank you again for sharing your stories and perspectives with us. These business owners remind us that to be successful entrepreneurs, you need to be resourceful and tenacious. We look forward to continuing to serve you and work with you. And now please enjoy the rest of the program.
Hello again, and thank you for participating in our 2020 Prospera Success Stories. And thank you to our event sponsors, especially our presenting sponsor, Duke Energy, for allowing us to gather as we do each year, even if we had to do so virtually. I hope you're enjoying our program, hearing from fellow leaders of Prospera and our community, and especially gaining a better understanding of what our local small businesses have experienced during this pandemic. There are only a few minutes left to enjoy together, although you're welcome to tune in to watch our South Florida event at noon and our Central Florida event at 3:30 this afternoon. Today, we celebrate the power of one, the power that each person, each organization, and each donor contributes, so that together we form a more resilient and prosperous community. We have witnessed the power of one united front in our local government and economic development partners, who have stepped up to help our local residents and businesses deal with the challenges of this pandemic. We're proud of our regional efforts and collaboration, including our partnerships with Hillsborough County and City of Clearwater. We have witnessed the power of one generous community in everyone who donates to this organization, especially our annual private and public funders, whom Sherry and Eddie recognized at the beginning of this program. You make a significant contribution by believing and investing in our mission, helping us empower entrepreneurs and families, and creating a domino effect in our community and economy. We have witnessed the power of one group of volunteers in our regional board and technical assistance committee members, led by Sherry and Carolina, who share their talent, time, and treasure to serve as ambassadors of our mission and clients. We have witnessed the power of one network in our providers who serve fellow small business owners and share their talents to help others, especially to overcome this crisis. And I have witnessed the power of one excellent team, my Prospera staff, whose commitment is constant and whose work in this pandemic on behalf of our clients has been outstanding. It is my honor as a regional vice president of the West Coast of Florida to lead our team of staff, volunteers, and providers to achieve Prospera's mission every day. We look forward to seeing you in person next year when we celebrate Prospera's 30th anniversary. But first, enjoy the last few minutes of our program, starting with some highlights from the last 12 months.
I do when my love is away? Does it world for you to be alone? How do I feel at the end of the day? Are you sad cause you're on your own? I can't be by with little help from my friends. No, I'm gonna try with little help from my friends.
Truist is pleased to introduce the next story, which reveals the strength of an artist to remain creative and inventive even through the most difficult times, delivering joy from Tampa to her clients across the nation. With the power of one inspiration, let's meet Lisbeth Palacios.
The power of one.
Everyone wants to beat the coronavirus, and in a way, well, my business lets people do that. We create 100% handmade piñatas and other decorations for parties and corporate events. So, as you might imagine, with parties being canceled, COVID-19 almost shut us down. We had 0 orders for almost 2 months. On top of that, we didn't meet the criteria for relief programs or PPE or other aid. And of course, shipping delays impacted delivery, which is a problem since we're creating products for scheduled events. So we took advantage of this slower pace to rethink and retool our business. We started this business in my house, so I moved operations to our garage to have more space. I might not have been able to make that shift without this downtime. And I started creating this Coronavirito piñata. People love to buy it, then smash it. And you can understand why. And all of these changes have actually helped us survive and grow. Our sales are now triple what they were pre-COVID. If you're a small business like us trying to get through this, just remember, it won't last forever. Hang in there and don't be afraid to reinvent yourself. Your business might not just get back to normal, it might end up being better than ever. The Power of One. Lisbeth Palacios, All Party Art.
Buen día. Gracias por estar con nosotros el día de hoy. Good morning, and thank you for joining us. I joined Prospera's regional board almost 3 years ago. As a business owner myself, I have great respect and admiration for Prospera's mission. The stories you are hearing today are a resounding testament to the invaluable support entrepreneurs receive to get their ventures off the ground or take them to the next level. All of this could not be possible without support of local government, companies vested in our communities, and individual donors like yourself. Your donations are instrumental in fulfilling Prospera's mission in helping business owners. Please click on the donate button below. No contribution is too small or too big and will have a significant impact in our communities. Thank you very much and continue to enjoy the program.
Good afternoon. My name is Jeff Liepman, and I'm a regional board member with Prospera here in the west coast of Florida. I would like to thank you once more for joining us at Prospera's first ever virtual success stories. Since we could not treat you to lunch as we do every year, we wanted to give you a small token of our appreciation for participating in our event. Each of you who registered and tuned in for our event will receive an email containing a special gift from our local Prospera clients who wanted to help us make today extra special for all of our guests. You'll receive vouchers, coupons, and special offers to enjoy their products or services, such as excellent discounts at Marisol, Napoleon's Essential Spa of Clearwater, Israel Martinez's Healthy and Fresco in Land O'Lakes, and many more. Be on the lookout for our email in your inboxes and enjoy while supporting local Hispanic entrepreneurs and their businesses.
Hello everyone, I'm Ladies Gonzalez, Prospera's customer service rep, and I would like to express our gratitude to all of our grant providers for helping us meet our client needs and going above and beyond to help us strengthen and grow their businesses.
Hi, I am Antonio Perez, Prospera Business Development Consultant, and I want to thank the members of our Regional Board and Technical Assistance Committee for volunteering their time and expertise to support Prospera and Hispanic entrepreneurs. I also wish to thank Musi Studio for producing today's virtual Success Stories event.
This is Hannah Everett, Prospera Business Development Specialist, and I want to say thank you to all of the experts who have presented in our seminars, both in person before the pandemic and now virtually, for helping us educate clients about the latest trends, tools, and skills needed to develop their businesses in numerous aspects.
Hello, I'm Roy Rojas, Prospera Business Development Consultant, and I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us today. Our clients for being the heart and soul of our organization, and especially to those who share their stories today, as well as those who are paying it forward with their donations. And our sponsors, funders, and individual donors for enabling us to continue fulfilling our mission to help start, sustain, and grow Hispanic-owned business to achieve community prosperity.
twists and turns, and the sun beats down and it burns, but I keep on pushing through. And every step